Alright, well, here's another kind of crazy subject, I was kind of speaking on it in another video about being blown by the wind of every doctrine that you hear, okay? This was coming from Paul, okay? Paul was a Roman, but Paul was also a Pharisee. So when Paul spoke of not being blown by the wind of every doctrine, he knew because he was privy to these doctrines, as I'm sure so was Jesus. These doctrines of which I speak, these Pharisee doctrines, it's called the Talmud, and this is some real dynamite information here. No one really wants to touch this ever. Rarely. Some people do touch on it. If they do, it's briefly, short spell. They don't want to get too deep in it because it kicks up too much. Christian versus not Jew, Christian versus Pharisee Jew, inner turmoil conflict. You know what I'm saying? Because believe it or not, I mean, people do not want to admit this, but Israel, not Israel, the Bible Israel, but the state of Israel, this day is still very Pharisee, and even there's even like a counterfeit Pharisee, even deeper Pharisee that injected itself into the Jewish population. It's been concealed from us, and smoke and mirrors hidden all this time. That's why, Jesus said, you guys love these works of Solomon, but a greater than Solomon is here. It's like you'll receive Solomon, but then when Jesus comes and speaks pertaining to the same things, but from a more pure standpoint, like he said, don't you know all people through all time wish to hear these mysteries that I reveal to you now. And I mean, it's wrote, and also it talks about, I think it's in 2 Kings or 2 Chronicles, it talks about how Solomon whored after other gods, and that his book, that I think it's called the Testament of Solomon or the Works of Solomon, is not written in this Bible. So where is it written? It never really clarifies that, but it states that it was written, and I'm sure it's in that Talmud. These Babylonian rabbinical Jews, because as Daniel and his 4 homies, or his 3 homies, would not violate, would not forsake the word, would not forsake God. But there was a whole bunch of other people that went into captivity from the Jewish population also, from the tribe of Judah. That's what it is to be a Jew. It doesn't mean all those other 11 tribes, but actually one's kicked out and another one's replaced. So it's really 13 tribes, but one, I think it's the tribe of Dan, is excluded. But I'm not totally clear on that. I'm only partially, I only got a partial understanding on this, but it's something to that effect. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like when they said, Jesus, you cast out demons by the king of the prince of demons, Beelzebub. And Jesus says, well, if I cast, out Satan with Satan, Satan's kingdom's divided, or if you cast out Satan with Satan, and Satan's kingdom's divided against itself. So I mean, these Paul, Jesus, they were privy to this undercurrent and undertone of this mystery religion, because I mean, really, the Masons and all this stuff really comes from a perverted Jewish Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism, Jewish fables. I think Paul, this is exactly what he said. He said, beware of Jewish fables. You know what I'm saying? It's just like even my own Indian culture, some of our fables are kind of, if you give too much heed to them, you know what I'm saying, it could influence you, you know what I'm saying, to peer too deep into these dark zones that maybe some of them we should just let them remain in the dark and not, open, go searching some of these ancient things, unless, you're prepared for it, like spiritually, because, I mean, you might uh, stir up the spiritual realm, and you might bite off more than you can chew. I mean, because I believe in curses and magic is real, and witchcraft and stuff like that. Like there's real aspects to it, though. There's a lot of hype and like deception. Like, because if you believe it, I could suggest to you things to just throw you off, and just because the fact that you believe it, a deceptive person. That's if I was deceptive and trying to deceive you. That you gave me a foothold into your psychology and where you're lacking in your awareness. You just gave me a window. If I was one of those type of people who wish to size you up for the wrong reasons, to break you down or throw you off, because that's the whole doctrine of this Talmud and Masons and Solomon. All this stuff is to infiltrate things and establish a hierarchy and a power structure, basically subvert it from within, and then basically it's the mafia. Pay tribute to the Godfather, pay tribute to the Black Pope, which is the religious hierarchy power structure that Jesus came to set people free from. These people didn't want to lose their power. They didn't want to lose their witch doctor position of over the population. This is running right alongside with real, true people really trying to stay righteous for the righteous reasons, not self-righteousness. That's why even the parable of the tares and the wheat, and God says, let them grow together, because it shows that God is right. He's given people the chance, even the evil ones, an extra, even more of a chance to come back and get right. That shows God's right. But I mean, who's the one who wants to get rid of all the true believers, or anyone who doesn't want to believe the Luciferian paradigm? Those are the people that want to get rid of the other people, and the Christians go ahead and allow the tares to grow right up amongst us in a lot of cases. I mean, we're supposed to keep them ourselves quarantined as much as possible from these types of people and their stuff. But I mean, at the same time, I don't think total ignorance and unawareness of it. Why did he say beware of Jewish fables? You know what I'm saying? They're giving you warning. They're out there. They're circulating. There's terror doctrine out there. So that's what I mean when I put the emphasis on don't be blown by the wind of every doctrine, because they're out there. And I mean, some of them, it's revealing to know what they believe. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying if you research what they believe, it's not because, hey, I want your knowledge too, so we can have a battle of magicians. No, it's not like that. It's I need to know what do you guys talk about, in secret, so I can know if I can trust you or not at all, period. It's good to know what I'm up against, what the enemy's doing. I mean, and I believe Jesus, God, have given us the green light to be aware of these things, not to avoid them, not to cover it up, not to overlook it, not to hush hush and shh, Saint Simone, shut up, whatever. I think I'm not sure if that was correct neither, but still, this stuff, I've heard people speak on it, but then again, it's a very controversial, contentious topic because of the churchianity's yoking to the state of Israel, the country of Israel, not necessarily the God of the Jew and of Israel. You know what I'm saying? Or the God of the Bible. They did a flip on you, and they're using God of the Bible to help you support this. It's basically in Revelations. It's the synagogue of Satan. Look into that, and I mean, if you can prove me wrong, you're welcome to leave a comment or whatever, make a reply video, whatever. Peace.